Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Tyrone back with Tech Life. And in this video, I have a network update for you guys from AT&T. And I personally believe this is an important one. So as we transition to 5G, and we see right now, T-Mobile is likely the heaviest involved in that because they actually have next generation mid-band spectrum. So they are right now the carrier that is scaling mid-band 5G the most. Verizon is doing it with millimeter wave, but they can't really scale it nationally because they have to do so much. So T-Mobile right now is the one company that has next generation wireless spectrum that is able to scale mid-band 5G at a pace that no other carrier in the US can. But here's something interesting. So as we transition to 5G, and it's happening with new panels and radios, and carriers have to physically touch the sites, there's also another aspect that has to transform, and that is software. So here this article says AT&T relinquishes Trailblazer status on network virtualization. Now there's a bigger meaning behind this. So last year in September 2020, AT&T announces that they have the core virtualized 75% of the network. So that, of course, leaves another 25% left to get to 100%. The reason I mention that is because that last 25% seems to be services that AT&T is going to run until the end of its life cycle and then decommission anyway. So you could say at the 75%, that's the goal that AT&T wanted to get to, and any part of their network that they wanted to make virtual, they got it virtualized. That's what it's stating in the article. So this is very important because, like I mentioned, not only are you going to have to transition your network with radios and new panels, and of course you need next generation spectrum, but you also have to transition the software side of it. That's IP routing, Open RAN, whatever the case may be. And I know right now T-Mobile is not the best at that. They don't have the best core. They're going to have to fix that as well. So as they invest back into the network with integration of the spectrum, they also have to start fixing the software side of things as well. And many people will ask, well, what does it do for me if they virtualize the cores or the software? And it really doesn't do much for the consumer, but it allows the carriers to adjust things remotely. Let's say the tower is acting up and it just needs a quick reboot, like you do a computer. Well, this software virtualization would allow you to do that remotely. You could do it from the network center, or maybe even your house. If you're an engineer working from home, you can just shut it down and reboot it. And then that issue could be fixed. Whereas before, in some cases, you had to do a physical site visit to do these troubleshooting steps that you can now do virtually, remotely. You could adjust, you can remotely adjust some of the tilts. I mean, there's so much you could do by virtualizing the core. It's a win-win for all carriers. And under John Donovan, AT&T seemed the most aggressive on this out of any carrier. And that still seems to be the case even now that they may shift to doing something else. But 75% of the core being virtual, I say, is a big deal. And I don't think any other carriers anywhere close to that, especially not T-Mobile. Maybe Verizon, but not T-Mobile. I can guarantee you T-Mobile is nowhere near 75% virtualization on its core. And they've never really spoken about it publicly neither. So again, just a quick network update from AT&T. They seem to be at a number that they wanted to get to, a goal. The 75%, they seem to have accomplished that. So going forward with the FirstNet rollout, I'm very confident in saying that anything that goes up, new infrastructure, new sites, will all be virtual, and they'll have the latest and greatest in the cabinets and the baseband units, the backup generators. All of that will be accompanied with the latest and greatest state-of-the-art technology. And I think that's now a standard for AT&T and FirstNet. And of course, again, standard of excellence comes into play with this. And I know some carriers have cut corners in the past on doing this. I mean, T-Mobile and Sprint in many cases had no choice. They had to go with some of the cheaper options because they just didn't have the cash flow that the big two did. Now that's changing with T-Mobile because they have more revenue now. They're going to invest more. But again, in April of this year is the 1-year anniversary, and there's no way that we will be able to fully realize the network benefits just yet. It's going to take longer. T-Mobile has to work through more optimizations. They're adding site upgrades with N41 at a scale never seen before. So the engineers are busy too around the clock trying to optimize this. They did 3 sites. I was tracking, they upgraded 3 sites at the same time last week. So there's going to be issues. Sites are going to be off. They got to optimize. So they're busy. They're very, very, very busy. And especially right now with all the outages that are happening because of the weather. So they're shifting their focuses towards that to getting the network back up and running. So let me know what you think about this network update. Again, this is good. Core virtualization should have happened a long time ago. Carriers have been working on this. Just AT&T got the ball rolling the earliest, and they seem much further along than any other carrier. If you have been on the channel or you are new to the channel and you have not yet liked, shared, subscribed, make sure you do so. Hit the notification bell so you are notified when I do upload the content. Follow the social media outlets for more updates and interactions. This is Tyrone with Tech Life. Thanks again for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.